Arthur No Fee Fitness here, and today we're talking about cutting on GLP-1 second without sacrificing the muscle you worked for. A lot of guys are jumping on Ozempic and Wegovy because the appetite drop is real, the scale finally moves, and that "I'm constantly hungry" noise in your head shuts up. But here's the catch. When appetite tanks and weight falls fast, lean mass wants to go with it. If you do this sloppy, you'll end up a smaller version of the same physique. If you do it right, you come out leaner, stronger looking, and actually healthier. No fee, no BS, just gains. Let's frame it the way lifters actually live. You want fat off, you want your shirts to still fit the arms, and you want the bar to feel like your bar, not a stranger's. GLP-1 second help create a big energy deficit by killing cravings. That's a tool, but tools don't lift for you and they don't protect tissue for you. Muscle is expensive for the body to keep. In a deficit, your body looks for places to save energy. If you're not sending the right signals, it downshifts muscle protein synthesis, upshifts breakdown, and you get that flat look fast. So the game is simple. Hold performance, feed the machinery that builds muscle, and lose fat at a sane pace. Start with the pace. If you're around 80 kilos, a reasonable rate is roughly 0.4 to 0.8 kilos per week. Call it 0.5 to 1% of body weight. Faster than that and your lifts nosedive, sleep gets weird, cravings come back in waves, and yes, you'll lose more lean mass. GLP-1 second can make you think faster is always better because hunger isn't screaming, but recovery still screams. Take the win steady, repeatable losses over a crash that steals your numbers. Protein is your anchor. On a cut with GLP-1, the biggest mistake is, "I'm just not hungry, so I'll eat whatever." That's how you end up underfeeding the exact nutrient that defends your tissue. Aim for about 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo per day. If you're heavier and leaner, sitting near 2 grams per kilo is clean and simple. Space it across the day so each meal actually triggers muscle building. Give yourself a decent hit of high-quality protein at breakfast, after training, and again later. You don't need to micromanage every gram, but you do need to stop pretending that a tiny snack and a coffee is a meal. GLP-1 second shrink appetite. They don't change the rules of muscle biology. Carbs and fats aren't enemies, they're levers. Carbs around training keep performance up, and performance is the loudest "keep this muscle" signal you can send. That might be as basic as a banana and yogurt pre-lift or a bowl of rice in the meal before. Fats can fill in the rest, so your total calories land where they should without you feeling punished. Electrolytes matter more than you think when appetite is low and you're sweating through hard sessions. Salt your food, eat potassium-rich stuff, keep magnesium steady. Hydration is the cheapest recovery hack on earth. If you're training in a deficit and dehydrated, you're collecting fatigue. Let's talk training without a 2-hour program breakdown. The goal is to keep a reason for your body to hold onto muscle. That means you keep lifting with intent. Keep the big patterns in your week, keep tension high, and keep reps honest. If you're used to chasing PRs, shifts will happen on a cut. You might not add weight every week, but you can fight to hold last week's load for the same reps, or push one more clean rep at the same weight. Progression is still progression. Use 2 to 3 reps in reserve most days, so you're not turning every set into a recovery black hole. Volume doesn't need to explode, it needs to be enough. If you're doing more for the burn while eating less, you're just trading performance for fatigue. Fewer, better sets done hard and recovered from will protect more muscle than a junk volume marathon you can't recover from. Rest days are not guilt days, they're where you cash the checks you wrote in the gym. Sleep is not optional here. GLP-1 second can improve satiety, but sometimes mess with how you feel in the evening. A simple routine, screens down, cool room. Finish your last heavy meal a few hours before bed will pay you back in weight loss that's actually fat loss. And keep your steps up. Neat the background movement you do all day tends to crash when calories drop. A hard rule like 8 to 12,000 steps per day holds your daily burn steady without beating up your joints. That matters because when NEAT plummets, the deficit you think you have disappears and now you're losing slower while still risking lean mass because training feels harder. Keep moving. Creatine stays in. 5 grams a day, every day, no cycling, no drama. It's cheap insurance for strength, training quality, and muscle maintenance. If your appetite is low, throw it into whatever you're already drinking. Don't overthink it. Caffeine is a tool. Use it to show up to sessions awake and ready, not to mask chronic under-recovery. If you rely on 3 energy drinks to get through a session, the problem isn't the pre-workout, it's your schedule, your sleep, or an aggressive deficit. Let's make macros practical. Picture an 80-kilo guy on GLP-1. Protein target lands around 160 grams per day minimum. 200 isn't crazy if you prefer it. Carbs cluster around training. You don't need to drown in them, but starved training is bad training. Fats fill the rest, so calories stay in the fat loss lane. If GLP-1 crushes your appetite too hard, don't skip protein-use shakes, skyr, Greek yogurt, eggs, lean meats, tofu, or whatever you'll actually eat. The perfect macro plan you won't follow is useless. Make it boring, repeatable, and easy to prep. Batch cook a couple of go-tos and stop reinventing dinner at 9 p.m. when you're tired. Now, the mental side. GLP-1 second make cutting feel easier until they don't. Motivation spikes when the mirror changes quickly. Then a couple of weeks stall and you panic. Don't. Scale stalls happen from water, sodium, training soreness, and digestion. Track your waist, track your performance, and give the process a full 2 weeks before you call anything a plateau. If performance is sliding for more than a week, adjust something. A touch more carbs around the lift, one fewer working set on the moves that wreck you, or a maintenance week where calories come up to hold weight and let fatigue bleed off. That week is not losing progress, it's protecting the asset. What about cardio? Keep it in the support zone. If you love running, keep a few easy sessions to hold your engine and burn some calories without smashing your legs before squats. If you hate it, brisk walking, a bike, a rower, or rucking on an incline gets the job done. The moment your lifting numbers start sinking because you're chasing cardio numbers, pull back. You're on a medication that already helps the deficit. Use cardio to complement, not cannibalize. Supplements beyond creatine, you don't need a suitcase. A basic whey or high-quality protein blend if you struggle to hit protein. Vitamin D if you're chronically low, maybe fish oil if your diet is short on fatty fish. That's it. Save your money for high-quality food and a gym membership you actually use. Science time, bro. The biggest drivers of muscle retention on a cut are protein intake and high-quality resistance training. Everything else is details you layer on top. Training expectations matter. On a cut, the win is maintaining or very slowly improving key lifts while the scale drops. That's a loud signal your muscle is sticking around. If you're chasing pump over performance, you'll get discouraged because you look flatter some days. Flatter in the mirror during a deficit doesn't mean smaller forever. Glycogen, sodium, and water live on a dimmer switch. Judge by your logbook, your tape measure, and your weekly averages, not your bathroom lighting. For the guys already lean who hop on GLP-1 to get shredded, the margin of error is smaller. As you push below, say, 10 to 12% body fat, your body fights you harder. Hunger cues can be quiet from the drug, but fatigue and irritability can still spike. This is where smart pacing, non-negotiable protein, creatine, and a tight bedtime routine keep you sane. If your libido, sleep, and lifts all crash at once, you're pushing too hard. Bring calories up to maintenance for a week, stabilize, and then continue. It's not a setback, it's strategy. For women listening, the same principles apply with scaled numbers. Protein stays high relative to body weight, strength training anchors the plan, creatine is safe and effective, and rate of loss should still be modest. The only extra note is keeping an eye on energy availability. If you're training hard and the deficit is too deep for too long, performance and mood will tell you. Listen early. A quick word about expectations after the cut. GLP-1 second are not physique forever. They help you get to the place where your habits need to carry the load. As you transition off or lower the dose, build a maintenance plan that keeps your protein high, your steps steady, your training consistent, and your meals predictable. Maintenance is where you actually see the physique for what it is: less inflammation, stable glycogen, normal life. That phase is where your identity as a lifter cements. You train because it's who you are, not because a drug told you you're not hungry. So here's the through line. GLP-1 can be a powerful tool for fat loss. It doesn't build, protect, or prioritize muscle by itself. You do that. You do it with a reasonable rate of loss, a protein target you actually hit, training that stays heavy enough to mean something, creatine every day, steps that don't fall off a cliff, and sleep that you defend like your gains depend on it because they do. The guys who win this cut will look like they added muscle while losing weight. They didn't magically bulk on a deficit. They protected what they already had and let the fat move out of the way so the muscle could finally show. If you're on this path, track calmly, train with intent, and feed your muscle like it's rent you have to pay. Keep it boring, keep it steady, keep it strong. No fee, no BS, just gains.